Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of my Blender and Jetset tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take a model from Blender and send it over to Jetset so that we can actually film with that model, and then we'll send it all back, render it out, and put it together for a final shot. So the first thing we need to do before we can send any of our models over to Jetset is we need to download a couple of things. You're going to want to head over to the download section on Lightcraft's website. Scroll down and there are two things that you need to download. So the first thing you need to download is the Autoshot Mac Beta. Go ahead and click download on that. The next one you want to download is this Blender add-on. However, if you are on a Mac, make sure you download it this way, otherwise it might not work. So instead of just clicking on the download button, go ahead and right click on the download button and choose download linked file. This is important because by default, Mac automatically unzips all the files it downloads. However, Blender wants it to be in its zipped form, so this will prevent that from happening. Once those are finished downloading, go ahead and install the Autoshot application. It should just walk you right through it. And then I'll show you real quickly how to install the Blender add-on. So once we are in Blender, we're going to click on Edit. We're going to go down to Preferences, and you are going to click on Add-ons, and you are going to click on that down arrow in the top right. And we're going to choose Install from Disk. Then you will want to go to wherever your downloads are. Look for the Autoshot Blender zip file. I've got this one. And then you can go ahead and click Install from Disk. You should see a screen that says Lightcraft Technology Autoshot. This is perfect. Now we just need to restart Blender and we should be good to go. So I've now restarted Blender. We've got that add-on installed. Hopefully you've also installed Autoshot. Now we can actually send the file over to Jetset so we can start filming. What we are going to want to do first is we need to export our file as a USD file. So go up to File, Export, and look for the one that says Universal Scene Description. Save it anywhere that you would like. Just make sure you save it somewhere where you can find it because you will need to find it to send it to Jetset. So I'm going to go ahead and just save mine into my downloads since that's where everything else is at right now. Mine is showing up red because I've already exported one before. That just means it's going to overwrite it. That's okay. So I'm going to click export. Now I have my USD file exported. Next, we need to actually open up Autoshot. So go to your applications, look for the Autoshot app, and go ahead and open that up. When you first open up Autoshot, it's going to look a little scary. I know I felt the same way. There's a lot of boxes and a lot of things, but I'm going to break it down and make it as simple as I can for you so that we can get through this. For right now, all we're doing is sending our model over to Jetset. So we're going to focus on this Models tab up at the top. So go ahead and click on Models, and it'll take you to a different screen. In this screen, there's only 3 sections you need to know. We've got the first one titled Jetset Link. This is going to show us whether or not we have a connection with the app where we are transferring our files. Then we have our USD models right here. These are the models that we have exported from Blender. And then in this third section, this is the USDZ files. These are actually what we are going to convert our files into. And this is where we are going to send our files into Jetset. So for right now, we don't need to have the phone out quite yet because we need to focus on converting our models first. So come to this second section right here with the USD models. And we need to set the folder for our models. So go ahead and click on Set, and then go to your downloads or wherever you placed your models and click Choose. Then you can click this little refresh button down here in the bottom right if you need to, but otherwise you should see your model pop up. I titled mine Rocky Scene, so here it is right there. Now, what we need to do is we need to go to our local USDZ model folder. If this is your first time doing it, you will need to set this folder as well. Once we've set both of those folders, it will save, so you shouldn't have to do this every time. So I'm going to go ahead and say set, and I actually made a separate folder in my downloads for the USDZ files, just to keep them separate so it's not as messy. Go ahead and click choose, and now that's the spot that it's going to send our converted models to. So we can come back up here, click on that model, and say make USDZ. It's going to send a bunch of text down the right side of your screen. Don't worry, that's normal. And then now at the bottom, you should have a new model populated with the same name as the one we converted up above. Other than now, it should have a Z at the end instead of a C, and you're ready to go. So let's go ahead and open up Jetset on the phone. If you have not downloaded the app yet, I'll have a link down below in case you need help finding it, but it's just called Jetset. It is free on the App Store for anybody to download. So now I'm going to open up Jetset on my phone. Let's jump over to the phone so I can show you guys what that looks like. All right, right away, it's just going to bring you into this home screen where it's going to give you a bunch of different models. Use the default grid. You can watch a tutorial. I typically just click use default grid just to get started because we are going to be loading in our own models. So you're going to tap on use default grid. It's going to want to scan your room. You can go ahead and move your camera around, and then you want to tap and set an origin point. Go ahead and click OK. So once you've scanned your floor, you've hit OK. Now you should see a model. You're going to see the UI of Jetset. You've got a bunch of different options. I have mine set to use my green screen right now. If you have not changed that, it will likely be using the AI keying method, which basically just means it uses AI to remove everything from your scene. If you would like to change that, go ahead and click the main button in the top left, click on key, and this is where you can choose either AI, where I can actually AI my whole room, or you can click green and actually use the green color pick at the top to choose your green screen. It does not matter which one you use because in the end we are just going to be rendering our footage in Blender and compositing it with the camera footage. So this is just for preview purposes while you are filming your projects. So now that you've chosen your key method, either green screen or AI, we are ready to create a project and start sending our files over. So if we go ahead and click the gear icon in the bottom left, you can see right here at the top where it says project. You can click on that, and on this screen you can create different projects for the different things you are working on. Just go ahead and click that plus button and make a new project if you would like. You can tap on that project and choose the little pencil to rename it. And then from there you can hit save, and that'll create another new project. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to my Rocky Scene project because that is the one I'm going to be using. So now that you've got your project set up, you've got your keying method set up, we are ready to transfer our model into Jetset. So let's jump back to the computer and go from there. So on your computer, you should see up here where it says client, we can hit that refresh button. As long as the Jetset app is open on your phone, you should be seeing the name of your phone right here. So in my case, Spencer's iPhone is showing up right there. That's perfect. Now what we are going to do is come down to our model that we converted, go ahead and highlight it, and then we just need to select push file to Jetset. Click on that. You'll see down here in the bottom right, it'll count up in 10 percentages. And once that's complete, the model is now on the phone ready to film. All right, so let me pull out my phone right here and let's jump over to here so I can show you what that looks like. So in the bottom left, once again, you are going to click on the gear icon. You are going to choose the model right there. And then at the very top, click open. Your model should automatically populate right here on this screen. Now that we've sent it over, go ahead and tap on that and it should start opening it in Jetset. You will notice when you pull your model into here, it does not look the same as it did on the computer. That is because it is just using a preview. It is using as much power as it can on the iPhone to show your model, but this is not how it's going to look in the finished product. This is just to give you a reference as you're filming so that you can place people where you want and you can get the compositions that you're looking for. So now that we've got that model in there, I can look around and kind of see my different spots. If you'll remember in the first video, we created scene locators throughout this model. Over here on the right side of the screen, there's a little arrow with 3 other arrows going out. Tap on that and you should see the different scene locators we created. So if I tap and I go to my hillside, it'll jump me to the hillside where I can look around, or if I tap to base of the mountain, it'll jump me to that one. And that is going to allow you to essentially teleport to the different scene locators we created and allow you to film all those different shots. If you jump to your scene locator to get ready to film and you notice it's not quite pointed in the right direction, you can actually rotate your model. Go ahead and tap main in the top left, go to origin, and this will show your origin on the ground, and you can tap on the purple sphere and you can actually start to rotate it. So if I rotate over there, let go, hit OK, now you will notice that my scene has been rotated, and this can allow you to get some better angles in case your scene locators weren't quite pointed in the right direction. So let's go ahead and I'll set my phone up and I'll film a shot of myself so we can see what that looks like, and then we'll take it back over to the computer so I can show you how to put together that finished product. All right, so I've got my camera all set up now. I've got my green screen. I'm gonna film a couple different shots of me with different camera movements. So we're just gonna go ahead and hit record right now and I'll show you guys what those look like. Now that you've finished getting all your shots over in Jetset, we are ready to transfer them to the computer where we can put them together and start seeing our final results. So go ahead and jump back over into Autoshot. You're probably still on the models tab since we just transferred our model. So go ahead and switch to the takes tab here at the top. Once we switch back over to here, there are a lot of buttons and things, but I'm going to walk you through it. So don't worry, I'll make it as simple as possible. Here at the top, our project folder, this is where it's going to actually transfer all the footage. I'm going to go ahead and just click on browse, and then I'm going to go ahead and set the new folder where I want it to transfer all my footage. So in this case, I'm just going to do my downloads again, call it Rocky Scene Project. Go ahead, click create and choose, and now we have our project folder set to that new folder that we created. This just makes sure that when we transfer everything, we will actually be able to find it. So now that we have our folder set up, we're ready to sync all the footage from the phone. So come down here to where it says sync and client. If it says none, that just means your app isn't open. Go ahead and open up the app. There we go. Now that I have my app opened up, it sees the phone. Right here, it'll say project name. That is the name of the project that is currently open on the phone. So if you don't see that project, go ahead and switch on the phone. I'll show you real quick. If I just switch to this other one, and then I go ahead and refresh. Now it says new pro. It's on a different project. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to my Rocky scene where I filmed my stuff and go ahead and hit this refresh button. Now we're on the Rocky scene. Next, you are going to see where it says days. If you have filmed over multiple days, there will be different options here. In my case, I've only filmed today. It's March 16th. Go ahead and click on that project. Now, just to make sure, you can look down below where it says sync to. This should be going up to the same project folder we chose up above. I am getting a warning because I did name this project folder something different from the project on my phone. On my phone, it is called Rocky Scene. On the computer, it is called Rocky Scene Project. This is totally okay. It just is giving you a warning just to make sure that you're not syncing from the wrong file. So it is best practice typically to name these the same. I'm just going to leave it since we're already there. Now I am going to go ahead and click this sync button. This may take a minute because it is actually downloading all of the footage from the phone that you've taken so far. So give it a second while it does that. Now it is done transferring. That took about 15 seconds for mine to complete. I'm going to come over now to the next section called take selection. So a take is just every time that you hit record on the phone, that is a new take. So we need to actually choose which take we want to go with right now. So once again, there should only be one day. Then I'm going over here to the takes option, and you can see the 6 different takes. If you're not sure which take you want, you can actually go back onto your phone and click the review tab in the top right. I'll show you guys real quick how to do that. So right here, I'll hit review. In review, you can see right here, it'll say the name underscore scene 101 underscore take 019. So that one was take 19. This one's take 18. This one was take 17. You can scroll down until you find the take that you actually want. In my case, it's this one right here, take 15. So I can come back to the computer, make sure that I go down here to TK, stands for take, number 15. Click on that one. Once I've chosen my day and my take right here in this section, we're good to go. We don't need to worry about any of the other buttons. Now we can go down to the run values selection. Right here at the top, it's going to say program. This is asking which program do we want to output to, or which program did we use when we created our model. So in this case, Blender is what we want. So we're going to leave that option selected. Next, where it says scene blend file. This is important. This is where we link to the Blender file that we created and actually used for our project. So I'm going to click on that set button. I'm going to head over to my downloads, and I'm looking for that Rocky Scene blend file. Go ahead and hit open. It's going to take a few seconds. It's going to identify all the scene locators you created. Once that's done, make sure the next section where it says use scene loc, this is where you can choose which scene locator to use. In this case, I want it to say base of mountain because if you look up above, that is the scene locator we used with this take. So make sure that those two match, otherwise you will run into issues where the camera is just in a random position and things will go horribly wrong. Don't ask me how I know. All right, so now that we have that blend file loaded in, we have this proper scene locator. It's going to say all the frames you had, any of that. We don't need to worry about any of those settings. From here, we are ready to go. So I know that was a lot of information right there. Let me go ahead and just break it down real quick for you into 5 simple steps that you should hopefully be able to remember. Step 1, choose your project folder where you want to save all these files. Step 2, sync the footage from the iPhone. Step 3, choose your day and your take that we are ready to render. Step 4, link your Blender file to this project right here and match the scene locators. Then step 5, you're going to go ahead and click save and run. When you click save and run, it's going to take a couple of minutes. a bunch of stuff popping up on the right. This is totally okay. Just keep waiting. Eventually, Blender is going to open up the project with the camera movements all keyframed inside of there. If it pops up asking for access to your files, make sure you click allow. Boom, mine has completed. Once yours is done, you should have a new copy of Blender opened up with your project file and the camera already in there. It actually even green screens your footage for you. So I can go ahead and hit the play button at the bottom just to preview kind of what happened and what it looks like. So here I am looking around. Where am I? This is perfect. This is exactly what we want to see. Now that we've got everything loaded up into Blender, there's one more step we need to take before we hit render. When building your model, if you opted to use an HDRI for your sky, we will need to enable that now so that it will actually show up in the render. So in order to do that, we are going to come over here to this right side where our menus are at, and you want to go to the render tab. Once you are in the render tab, you are going to go down to where it says film. So right here inside the film menu, there is an option for transparent. If that is checked, then the sky will not show up in the render. So if you have a sky that you would like to use, go ahead and uncheck that. Now that we have unchecked the transparent option, we are ready to hit render. So go up to the top of your screen where it says render and choose render animation. Depending how nice your computer is will determine how long this render takes. In my case, my video was 500 frames long, and it looks like it is taking about 70 seconds per frame. So you can go ahead and do the math there. Once your animation has finished rendering, we're going to jump back into Autoshot and set some things up so that we can send it over to After Effects. So back here in Autoshot, we are going to change one of our settings. Down here in the bottom left where it says Program, we are going to click on that and we are going to change it to Others. Once you've selected Others, you don't need to change any other settings. Now we can go ahead and hit that Save and Run button. It's going to send some things down the right side of your screen. Again, this is totally normal. However, now you should see at the top of all that, there is one that says AE script exported to, and it has a file path for where it exported our script. And we can see right here, there is a .jsx script. This is the script we are going to be using inside of After Effects that will automatically import all of our footage and set things up for us. So let's jump over into After Effects now, and I will show you how we can do that. Okay, so here we are inside of After Effects. What you want to do very first is go up to the top, click File. You are going to go down to where it says Scripts, and at the very top, we are going to click Run Script File. Now from here, you are going to want to navigate to the directory of your project. I saved mine in my downloads and called it Rocky Scene Project. If you forgot where you saved yours, you can jump back over to Autoshot and look at the very top. That's the folder we selected back in the very beginning. So I'm going to click on my project folder, and then you are going to go into your sequences folder. Next, it will list all of the days that you have filmed. I only have filmed one, so I'll click on that. And then now it should have all of the takes that you have run those scripts for. So I am looking for the one that says take 15, since that's what I did. If you can't read them, you can just go ahead and drag the bar over. Now I can see right there on the top, I have take 15. So I will click on that folder. Here you will see a list of all the different programs they support. I am looking for AE or After Effects. It should be somewhere in the middle. Go ahead, open that up, and now you should find the script file that you are going to run. Highlight that script and click Open. This is going to take just a couple of seconds, and it's going to automatically create a composition for you that has your footage layered on top of the rendered background. So over here on the left side of my screen, I am going to double click this composition folder. So that's going to open up our project. I'm going to go ahead and set it to fit so that we can see all of our stuff. If you look down here in the bottom left corner, you will see that there are 3 layers. There is one that is our 3D camera. The next one, this is going to be our rendered background from Blender. And then the top one is the footage that we are currently seeing right now. You'll notice that it tries to automatically apply a keying effect. However, it is not set up properly right now, so let's go ahead and fix that first. So I'm going to go over here to my effect controls, and then I'm going to click on this screen color for the eyedropper tool. I'm going to click on my background, and then I'm going to redo that one more time, just to get the proper green selected. So now I'm going to adjust the screen matte settings. So over here on the left side, we're going to open that up. And we are going to adjust these top 2 values, the clip black and the clip white. So as I start to adjust that clip black, you'll see the green screen starts to turn completely black. That is exactly what we want to see. And then I can adjust a little bit of this clip white. just to fix some of those edges. All right, so now that I've got my clip black and my clip white where I want those to be, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the rest of the video. So you'll notice here on the left and right side of my screen, there's those areas outside of the green screen that we need to get rid of. So I'm gonna use what's called a mask. It's just a way of removing parts of the video that you don't want to see. So I'm gonna come up here to the pen tool, make sure that I am selected on my video layer, and then I'm going to draw a mask around the areas that I want to get rid of. So I'll go down this right side just real quick. Right away, it's gonna actually get rid of everything else except this area. So we need to come down into our layer and change the properties of that mask from add to subtract. So I'm gonna move forward in my video now and see where I need to add the mask on the left-hand side. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a mask around that. And then once again, I need to change it from add to subtract. And now I can just click out of those masks so we can see what this looks like. We should have just me and a solid black background throughout all of the footage. So now let's go ahead and add some effects that are gonna make our Blender background actually start showing up. So go down and select the render layer, RNDR, and we need to add what is called the extractor effect. So I'm going to come over here to my effects, and I'm going to look for the extractor. It has a capital R at the end, so it's easy to find. Go ahead and drag that effect over onto your layer, and now you have these options in the left-hand side. At the very top where it says layers, click on that drop down and select view layer combined. If the colors of your footage are looking a little bit weird, there is one more step you'll have to do. So let me show you what that is. So go up to the top of your screen, click on File, go down to Project Settings, go over to where it says Color, and we are going to change our working color space to sRGB, and then you are going to check this box right here for Linearize Working Color Space. Go ahead and hit OK. Everything should be looking exactly how you want it to. We can go ahead and hit play and see what our final video is going to look like. There it is, it pans around me. Perfect, that's exactly what I was looking for. So now we are ready to actually render this clip out of After Effects so that we can start editing it together with any of our other clips. So go up to the top of your screen, click on Composition, go to Add to Render Queue. This is going to put it down here in your render queue at the bottom. There may already be something in the queue from when we first imported the project, so you can go ahead and delete that first one. We only want the most recent one because that's the one that we just put in there. Next, you're going to want to specify where you are saving this. By default, it should be saving inside of your project folder. However, you can choose any folder that you would like. I'm going to choose my downloads, and then I'm going to name this Final Shot. Go ahead and hit save, and then click the render button down here, and you are good to go. If you had any other shots that you took, you are going to go ahead and repeat this same process, and then you will have a bunch of MP4s that you can combine in any video editing software that you would like, and you can start to put together some really awesome short films. I went ahead and put together a couple of clips to make a super short scene just to show you guys a little more of what that would look like. So I'll go ahead and play that for you now. So there you go. Now you know how to take a model from Blender, throw it into Jetset, start filming, and then bring it back into Blender, render it out, throw it in After Effects, and composite it all together. I know it was a lot of steps, but hopefully the process starts to get easier as you do it more and more, and you are on your way to start creating your own short films using virtual production. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.